My little shed is out of space. Time to fix that. I bought this $40 tool hanger, but I'm not going to use it. It sticks out almost a foot from the wall. Instead, I'm going to show you how to build holders made for your tools that fit between the studs, and they're practically free. I'm Mike, and what did I do now? Organize my shed, which is important because it's too small. I know whose fault it is. My wife's. She built it. I just take credit. Because it's so small, every inch matters. No, that joke is for my other channel. This channel is stone cold serious. What? Every shed has different tools, so instead of buying generic hooks, I built custom holders, and it doesn't cost anything. You can do this with scraps you have laying around. Today I'll show you how to build holders that fit your tools. Every storage system starts with shelves, so let's build those first. I need something robust for all these jugs of oil and fertilizer. I considered a lot of options and determined that the shelves I'll build are the cheapest and most efficient you can make. They cost me less than 35 bucks. They're strong too. They'll be tested with something really heavy. This. What is this, you ask? Don't worry about it. I'll explain later.
Don't have a cow, man.
But it's really heavy. No, I can't lift it. The shelves are going on the right side of the shed. To help figure out their placement, I did some quick shelves in SketchUp. In addition to the 3 shelves, I'm going to have 2 corner shelves. The bottom one is for storage, and the top one is because there's never a place to set stuff down in a shed. This will be a mini workbench. I considered floating shelves supporting the front edges with rope or chain, which looked really cool in SketchUp, but this is hard. SketchUp isn't the one building this. Instead, I'm going traditional and using a 2x4 header to support the back of the shelves and a 2x4 header to support one side. There will be a bracket in the middle and one on the end. The brackets are made out of OSB mounted to a wall stud and then a 2x4 under the shelf. The shelves will be 18 inches deep going to the siding with notches cut to clear the studs. There will be 14.5 inches of effective depth, but nothing will roll off the back between the studs. The reason the shelves are so cheap is that Home Depot had 7/16 OSB for $11. They're $12.50 now, but I still think the project comes in under $35 after buying 2 sheets of OSB and 3 2x4s. It's Texas and it's 100 degrees, so everything was cut in the garage before installing. I'm sorry to big time y'all, but my garage is air conditioned. I have insulated doors and a mini split. Leave a comment if you want to see videos on how to do that. The main shelves are cut, 5.5 feet long and 18 inches wide. 2 of them are cut from one OSB sheet and the third comes from the other. Everything was sanded very thoroughly. If I was to put something away and got splinters under my fingernails, I'd immediately confess to my shed where all the bodies are buried. No, they're not buried under the shed. After getting the measurements, the 3 shelves were clamped together and the notches are cut to clear the studs. The test fit showed that I forgot about the corner stud, which is kind of embarrassing since I'm the one who put that corner stud there. So they were all clamped together again and those cuts were made. The 2 corner shelves are cut from the ends of the OSB. First they're cut to size, square, and then the angle is cut. The brackets are next. The ideal size for an 18-inch shelf is a bracket that is 18 by 18, but based on the remainder of the OSB left after cutting the shelves, the largest size I could make was 14 by 12. I actually planned this out. For once. Yes, you're watching the right channel. 2 were cut from the angle scrap left over from the corner shelves. I needed 6 brackets, but I cut 10. Don't ask. Yes, I know I just bragged about my planning skills. The brackets were clamped together in groups of 5 so the clearance can be cut for the header that will be in the back of the shelves. The circular saw keeps the cut straight and the corner is finished with the jigsaw. Then holes are pre-drilled where the brackets mount to the studs and the shelf arms. Even good self-drilling screws struggle to get started in OSB. Next are the shelf arms, 8 2x4s cut to 14.5 inches. After they were cut, they were given a 50-degree bullet nose in the front. You can't cut a 50-degree angle on the miter saw, so I made a block cut to 20 degrees to help hold the arms as the miter saw was set to 30 degrees. Pretty clever, huh? Then I sanded the arms all nice and smooth, and then threw them all away, because the bullet nose doesn't go this way, it goes this way. Yes, I know I just bragged about how clever I am. Pocket holes were put in the backs of the arms so they can mount to the header. Now I can venture out into the 100-degree heat, into Hades. I mean the shed. Same thing. It's Texas. The headers are mounted to the studs. Nails would be faster, but I wanted to use screws because I wasn't sure of the shelf heights and I might want to adjust them, which means I'll never adjust them. But I could. The only one I was sure about was the middle one. I wanted that to be even with the windowsill. A couple of support blocks were mounted to the back side of the corner stud. This gives the side headers something to attach to. The corner shelf headers are mounted next, lined up with the main shelf headers. The headers on the front wall have a bullet nose that matches the angle of the shelves. I was happy with the heights of all the shelves, so I put in the reinforcement screws. The shelf arms are mounted to the headers with pocket screws. There are OSB blocks screwed on the top to help align them with the top of the header. The OSB brackets are next. They are mounted with a bunch of screws since they are essentially what will be holding up the shelves. I noticed while mounting this bracket that my iPhone camera started shutting off after only a few seconds of footage. I wonder why that happened. After 20 minutes in the freezer, good as new. With all the brackets mounted, the shelves can be put in place and screwed down. I'm using 1 1/4 inch drywall screws. Kidding! These are epoxy coated exterior screws. Use the right screws. I have a video for that. And the shelves are finished. Are they strong? Strong enough to stand on, but will they hold up this thing? Yes, they held it! The first step for our tool holders, rather than blindly guessing and drilling 100 holes in the shed, is to build a mock stud bay in the garage. Without having to fight gravity, the tools can be shuffled around and tried in different positions to get the maximum use of the space. But before getting to the tools, the first thing to figure out is my leaf blower. There's a hook on the bottom of it that a piece of 1x2 leftover trim fits into. When it's laid down on the floor, it stays in position for me. I don't want to screw into the end of a small 1x2, so a couple of blocks will be used to mount it. It's positioned one more time where I can mark the angle and trim it off so it sits nice and flush with the stud. The blower is positioned in the stud bay so the height of the bracket can be determined. The bracket is clamped into place and then screwed down. And the blower is held in place. Next are my sawhorses. I love these. They collapse into a box. The ends extend out, which I can use as hooks. This pretty much just needs a 2x4 between the studs. That's easy. That's easy. You know, I don't think I've ever said those words before. The screws are partially drilled into the studs so I can hold the 2x4 with one hand and screw it in with the other. Ensuring it is level, the other side is screwed in and 2 more screws are added. The horses are hung pretty well.
What?
I don't know, you tell me. What did I mean by that? The yard tools are neck. It looks like my hoe and hook hoe can hang from the top. At first I was trying to figure out how to get my shovels to hang there, not to mention my drain spade, which isn't going to hang very easily. I realized that the tools can just set on the floor or the bottom plate and I can somehow just hold them in place. To the shed! The hoe hanger is mounted up high with one screw, leveled, then the other screw screwed in. It looks like the hose will hang pretty good. Yes, I just hung my 2 hose. What? A 1x4 is screwed in with one screw, but not too tightly so it can pivot. Then a truss head screw is used as a stop. So now with the bracket and without the bracket works. I call this device the keep the tools off the floor bracket. Patent pending. I wonder how long you can pen a patent. The power tools are next. I figured the simplest thing to do is to fabricate a couple of hooks that fit in their handles. Some blocks are cut for the base, then a couple of 2x2s for the hooks. I don't want to screw the block onto a 2x2 just to have it split and crush my dreams, so I drilled through the 2x2 and screwed it to the block. The placement of each hook is different for each tool because the handles are different. In the shed, each power tool is positioned to determine the handle location. The first one is clamped and screwed in place, ensuring my rotating bracket isn't impeded. The process is repeated with the other hook, clamped, screwed, and success! If you're looking for exact measurements for these handles, I can't help you, unless you have the exact same power tools and the exact same shed, and you have this thing.
Ay, caramba!
Now the Gorilla Ladder. This thing is bulky and heavy. I think Gorilla named it after what you need to be to carry it. Unfortunately, it won't fit between the studs, but I figure a couple of 2x4s jutting out should hold it up. Angles are marked on it and cut. I want the top to be almost level, tilting a little bit towards the wall. They look like they are right, so it's time to mount them in the shed. After determining the height of the brackets, the first one is screwed in with one screw, twisted in position, and then the remaining screws are screwed. The other bracket is clamped and checked for level with the first one. 4 screws are screwed in to hold it in place, and the brackets are strong enough to hold this ladder. But would it hold this? Finally, I'm going to cheat. I already had this ladder hook from my aluminum paint ladder. Engineers call this reusing an existing solution. I call it laziness. Remember, it's 100 degrees in the shed. It mounts to the stud with 2 screws. Pretty simple. The ladder is hung and the project is complete. Yeah, I have that big rake there. Still thinking about that one. In the meantime, the shed is loaded back up. At this point, I'm realizing if this shelf fails, it's going to be spectacular. Geez, look at how much room and storage I have left. This shed went from this to this. My 100-foot extension cord, that just needed a 2x4 on an angle. Some problems take engineering. Others just need a stick. And that giant rake, it has an eyelet on the handle, so it's just hanging from a 4-inch screw. There is just one more thing. This part is for true fans only. No, not only fans, but thank you. That's a common mistake for my channel. True fans stay until the end. We still have some things to discuss, so away with you. Okay, now that it's just us. My shed is built with 16-inch on-center studs, but there's something to be said for building a shed with studs at 24 inches on center. Although the promise of this video was to stash everything inside the stud bays, the ladders obviously don't fit. I think they'd fit in a 24-inch bay. And a serious note on batteries. You'll notice that my power tools do not have the batteries on them. Lithium batteries are intended to be kept between 50 and 77 degrees. 77 degrees. Not 78, which is apparently really bad. But worse is a shed that can get up to 110 degrees. I don't need to tell you, lithium batteries are expensive. Protect your investment. Which for a lot of you means, yeah, they're not going to go in the garage either, especially sitting on a charger, cooking. It's not that they're going to blow up or catch fire. Heat shortens their lifespan. Make yourself a battery charging station in your basement or laundry room. As for me, well, I'm going to big time you once again. Air-conditioned garage, and I keep my batteries on this box. But it's a fireproof cardboard box. No, it's not. I'm working on something better. Oh, I've got a fan online. Hey, fan, did you like the video?
What is that weird thing on your desk? And is there a good chance it could replace you?
Thanks, fan. I did some user testing last week, and the results showed that it was very effective to tell you 3 times to like this video. But the same testing also showed that spending most of the video trying to get you to like it has retention problems. So, you know, let's do it. I promised I'd explain this thing. Turns out there's not a lot to explain because it's a bit of a mystery. One day when I was jogging, I found it in someone's bulk trash pile by the street. This poor little guy was abandoned. I adopted him. And yes, it is that heavy. No, I can't lift him. I got him home with a forklift. What else do you want to know? What's next? That's it for the shed until fall. My garage is air conditioned, but my backyard isn't. Speaker stands are coming next, and I have plans on building a proper shop in the garage. Oh, but you're not going to see it unless you subscribe so you don't miss a show. Speaking of subscribers, you two sent me my reward for hitting my first milestone. For 1,000,000 subs, you get a gold plaque, and for 100,000 subs, you get a silver plaque. What did I get for 5,000 subs? I got this. Don't mock it. You can tell it was custom made. And look, it's a special one that floats in midair. What did Mike do now? It's every Wednesday, noon Eastern. But don't leave. I have more videos on organizing your shed. Well, okay, I have one. Turning your rafter ties into shelves. Claim more unused space. And I got my shed organized just in time. It is so hot out there.
How hot was it?
Oh, well, it was so hot, my pants started grafting to my butt cheeks.
Aww.
Tough crowd. Heat getting to you? I didn't ask for a standing ovation, but a slight pulse would have been nice.
That shed has more structure than your comedy. I thought I was your biggest fan. Looks like I've been replaced by a cat.